Yeah, we missed the last one a little bit, but I'm gonna go back into it and try to find out what's what again. Some folks just lost me, but I'll go back into it, give you guys a live link. Yep. Okay, let me try to find a link to get them in here. Come on, come on, come on. There it is. Okay. I was just getting ready to ask about my friend Susan Andre. Here's the link. There's the linky link. Wow, guys, we got caught up in conversation so much that just kind of flew by. Give me 1 second here. And we're back. I was looking a little bit more fuzzy. Earthquake. Boom, boom, boom. Well, sort of, but come on. If there's an accurate translation of what was originally written and a poor translation of what was originally written, then you would want the accurate. Absolutely. But again, if you went to the source, Mikey, if you went to the source that will lead you and guide you into all truth and righteousness, if you did have the wrong translation, the person that actually wrote that whole book or inspired man to hope that wrote the one that inspired men to write that whole book will lead you to the right. So no, Mickey, I totally know. Fine, hey, no, I get you. I know you're not arguing. I know. And likewise, I want you to understand that's not what I'm doing either, though. Because I mean, I can tell when somebody's arguing with me or not, though. But all it is when it comes down to it, um, when it comes down to it, was it? I did it again? No way. It was for this one, Susan. I thought. Well, hold on. Let me do it again. Here is where I am. The Gospel of Thomas, number 77. Helena, I have no idea what that is. Hello, Rob. There's Rob. Whoever was asking about Rob, here is Rob. It was a lot of you guys. There was a lot of you guys asking about Rob. So no way to know which is the perfect translation because the original manuscript no longer exists. At least that's my understanding. I just read the oldest English version. I know, the King James or Geneva. I get exactly what you're saying. You're right, and that's why I say that it's important that you get to the source. See, I think what gets mixed up here is that people are forgetting what the point of him going to the cross and dying for. It wasn't just for the sins of the world. It was so that we all can have access to that very source. You know what I mean? He became the atonement. You know, it said that he was the final sacrifice. There remained no more sacrifice. There is one mediator between man and God. That's the Lord Jesus Christ. And Jesus said, no man can come into the Father but by me. So even though you might not find a perfect translation, but you can be in hooked up with the person that actually wrote it. So my thing is this: what good would it be to know all this? What good is it going to do me to know all the stats? To know, like, let's just say Michael Jordan. I know where Michael Jordan was born. I know who his mom is, know who his dad is, know who his sons is, know who his wife is. I know how long he's been married to his first wife when he got divorced. I know what their settlement was. What good is it going to be for me to know all these things about Michael Jordan? I buy his shoes, I buy his clothes, I got like pictures and posters of him on the wall. What good is it going to me to do to what good is it going to be for me to do all of that and Michael Jordan don't even know who I am? I go around bragging about this man, talking about this man. He's the GOAT, the greatest of all time. He's the great. Michael Jordan is the best. Da 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 da. But Michael Jordan don't even have a clue who Thailand is. You know what I mean? What good is that going to do me? But if I knew LeBron, I mean, if I you got me talking about LeBron James, Mooney, if I money him, I mean, but if I knew who Michael Jordan was, and Michael Jordan knows who I am on a personal level, that far outweighs anything I can say about me knowing his family history or anything like that because I know Jordan. I can get in contact with him right now. Instead of me having to buy his Jordans now, he's going to send me some Jordans. Instead of me having to buy his outfits, he can send me his outfits now because me and him have a real close, tight relationship. You see what I'm trying to say? That's why I say, like, right now, it's really important for people to actually get a relationship with him versus somebody just trying to show you this is what the Bible says. Go straight to the source. Oh, well, welcome, T.R. Cooper. So if any of you guys said something to me again, I'm gonna let y'all know. You might want to type out Modern Renaissance Man for me to see it. And I know some of y'all are throwing comments out there, and I'm trying to read them as they come. But right, okay. So Mike, you said, well, then what's the point of the book? If God just drops truth down to us, then why a Bible? The Bible is the source. It's the source's truth. Okay. So you said why would you read the Bible? Is that what you're asking? Okay, T.R. Cooper, you're going through an incredibly hard time. You don't know what's going to become of you. What's going on? Is that something that you want to talk about, Cooper? I can have two conversations at one time. Oh hell, I saw what you wrote too. I just did. I never heard of that. Oh yeah, yeah, yes. Well, again, the thing is there for the Bible can be used for a lot of things. For examples, you can go in there and see things as far as principles goes, principles of how God sets certain things up. You know what I mean? So it's a very useful tool. I mean, if you think about it, that's where all the laws came from, pretty much. Yeah, and see, the thing is, what was cool with me is that there was a lot of things that, well, hell, see that what you're saying right now, that's what I'm talking about. I agree. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. God never looked at church as a building. Church is his people. See, this is the thing. We get so hung up in what church has done to us today that we forget that, like, people like Abraham, Adam and Eve, Jacob, David, Solomon, none of those people were ministers, but God still dwelled with them. You know what I'm trying to say? Now I read the Bible sometimes and study the Bible. I mean, I've been doing this for the longest, you know. But my point is that to me it was cool because once I had my experience with God at the age of 10, when I finally did end up going to a church building and I was reading the Bible, I thought it was very fascinating that a lot of things that happened to me happened to these same men in the Bible. I thought like there that is crazy. Like I cannot believe that the way that God spoke to them and told them to go and do these things. I'm like, he did that to me when I was 10 years old. And I was just fascinated, like this is crazy. Like the same thing these dudes went through and some of the things that God told him to do, or how he spoke to him and told him to do certain things. I'm like, he did that for me. That's crazy. So that's why I think it's fascinating still reading. Then also, I read it also because at the same time, what we talked about the other day, I want to make sure that if anybody's going to ask me a question, if they are confused about what ministers have told them about the Bible, I can ask God, what did you mean when you said this? And God can drop it down on me. And I go right to that book, right to that scripture. Oh, so when you said this, this is what you were meaning. So then how come a lot of preachers are saying that this is what you meant when you said that when you never said that? And he'll tell me because they're only repeating what the pastor before them told them, or what church organization they came up in told them. They're only repeating what the Bible school that they went to told them. Just like the other day when somebody said, who ordained me? I'm like, I didn't know there was a such thing. If you're called by God, there's no such thing as being ordained by a man or nothing like that. I'm legit. Like I'm not no special going through no special ministerial school or no school of theology to say, oh, I'm Dr. Tylen Smith of theology. That doesn't make you anything if you're not called by God. Oh, I hear you, Jerry. What did the dyslexic atheist say? There is no dog. Oh my God. Yeah, I seen that. I seen that, Miss Barbara. Steve Fletcher. Honestly, sir, no. I haven't even really got a chance to get into it. Trying to study and all this stuff like for schooling and work. I really haven't even got a chance to get into it. You said Jesus expressly said that the church is the earthly extension of his body. It would be very hard to grow in spirit without guidance from learned clergy and establish, I don't know what that word is, liturgy based upon scripture. I don't know if I can agree with that because I can't teach you to be spiritual. Only a spirit can teach you to be spiritual. Now I can tell you what made me spiritual, but the only way for me to tell you what made me spiritual is I'm going to lead you to the spirit that made me spiritual. But I can't sit there and enforce no spirituality into you. That has to come from the spirit itself, if you get what I'm saying. So, like what I just told you, that was a form of teaching, right? Or a form of informing you. But no pastor or preacher and teacher can make you and have you become what we consider to be spiritual. They can't. Just like can't know like me. Although I'm here to give you guys, I can give you guys advice to the best of my ability. But when it all comes down to it, I cannot change you. I cannot change you at all. I can pray for you. I can lay hands on you. But if there's a certain issue or a certain thing that you got going on with you, a certain personality or behavior or attitude about you, I can't change that. I can talk about, oh, you can do this or try that. But when it all comes down to it, if your heart, which is pretty much your mind, if you don't have a mind made up to where you actually trying to do something to better yourself, there's nothing I can do. There's even nothing that God can do. Now, some people say, no, don't say that. Don't say that God can't. I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying this. If you don't want to change and remain the person that you are, God is not going to force that on you. You have to want to change. And when you come to Him and say, God, I want to change, I want to, then He'll help you do it, if you get what I'm saying. It's just like with, like for instance, you guys ask me questions about healthcare. But if you just sit there and never say nothing, I can't help you. If you sit there and say, Ty, I have like a crook in my neck. What can I do to help that? And I will sit there and say, okay, the best thing you do is put some heat on it. When you put some heat on it, da 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 da. But if you sit there with a crook neck the whole time and you never say nothing to me, and you just go around like this, and if I came up to you and say, hey, I can help you with your neck, and you'd be like, no, that's okay, I don't need it. Okay, it's the same exact way. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of times we like to go see again what I get a lot is people just kind of repeat to me what somebody have told them or what you've always probably been taught to say in cases like this. Like, for instance, people say things like your spiritual father of the church. I don't know. There is no such thing as a spiritual father of the only spiritual father of a church is God. Period. Jesus. Period. That's it. The pastor is not your spiritual. I mean, if you want to say he's your spiritual father because that's where you're at, then that's fine. But he's not mine. No pastor is my spiritual father. I only have one spiritual father. So hopefully that makes sense. Oh my God, 185-pound hemorrhoid, but I divorced him. That's what in the world? What's going on, Abraham Lopez? Thank you, sir. You said yes, but think about reading a parable of Jesus. You, as the reader, may have many questions. It is from church teachings one can understand such things. But Cabal, again, why would I? I'm not saying that you should. I'm not okay. For instance, I'm not saying like for instance, you guys ask me questions about Bibles. I can give you, advice and answer to it, right? But my point in saying that is that it's so funny to me that why are people so reluctant to form a relationship with Christ? You would rather form a relationship with man in the church, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, but you would rather go that route when you can save yourself many steps by going straight to the source. That's what I'm talking about. So, yes, you can learn teachings of parables and all that in the clergy, but at the same time, if God will speak to you and tell you his own parable, and then a lot of times he actually tells you what he means. He'll tell you, he'll tell the disciples a parable, and he'll say, here's the such and such of this parable. It means such and such and such and such. Because sometimes they'll say, sometimes the disciples didn't even understand what he meant a lot of times. So he had to break it down and show it to them. That's awesome, Christopher. Morning, Atterbury. But I think it's kind of cool that y'all keep on talking about this. You guys seem kind of little, a little interested in to hear from a different point of view. But I'm just simply telling you, for 10 years, I have not battled anything. I have not been fighting no devil. I haven't been fighting no demons. I haven't been having no depression issues. I haven't been oppressed. I haven't been in any real crazy fights. It's just been none of that. Absolutely none of that because I got a hold more of a real personal relationship with Christ instead of what church has told me what my relationship with Christ should be. Church gives you all these different things, and a lot of times they do it based off of what somebody else told them. So I don't do that. I just go straight to the source. Mandy, madam, I'm sorry I have not had a chance to do it yet, sis. Well, Steve Fletcher, yeah, kind of, sort of. I just know it just blows my mind because what happens is that most people they want to become more, and I guess the word I'm looking for, somebody trying to prove to me of all this different stuff. All it does is it distracts away from. See, the thing is, if I know that I'm hooked up with the source. That's what I'm trying to say. But if people want to come in some kind of strange way, like I need to be up on a podium and I need to be dressed a certain way and I need to talk a certain way so it can have more meaning to my words because when I do it this way, it makes me seem more spiritual and powerful. Come on now. But then I come on the scene like, nope. And they're like, okay, well, something must be wrong with MRM because other preachers that I've known, when they really get to preaching, you can see the anointing come on them, and they get to doing all this and and that don't mean nothing. That doesn't mean. And pastors get mad at me when I come to their church and I do that. Half the time I don't know that the pastor does do that, but when I start doing it and the members start short. All right, Lisfet, off the bed. There we go. But that's what it is, guys. I'm telling you, when I mean you come to this channel, you come to the channel, and then it messes people up because once they start to ask me, how did I get like this, or why am I like this, especially when they know like a lot of things I went through in my life, and when I tell them how, then it's like, well, I question that because you see, the Bible says, and I'm like, okay, that's why I'm like this. You can't. If you say to me, hey, how do you drive a car? I will have to sit there and tell you, well, you want to go and open the door. You want to get in the car. You want to make sure your mirrors are all adjusted. You want to put your seatbelt on. You want to start the car. Before you do anything, press the brake, put it in drive, let your foot off the brake, let the car start to roll a little bit before you give it. Well, I don't think that's the right way of doing it. But then why'd you ask me how do I drive a car? Ain't no point in asking me if you when I tell you how I drive a car, they know. Well, see, there was a time where they used to wind the car. Well, we ain't there no more. So that's what I'm saying. We're not there no more. It's religion that's messing up a lot of people. Then it makes you think that because you go to church and you pay your tithes and you sing all the songs and you read the Bible and you pray 7 times a day, but what good does that do if you don't have a relationship with the very person you're going to go praise and worship and read about? What's my thoughts of tattoos on the person? There's tattoos on the person. My shirt looks orange. Cabal, I don't know what a Protestant is. All I know is I preached in Protestant churches before. I preached in a Methodist church, Catholic church, Church of the Latter-day Saints, Church of God in Christ, Assemblies of God, Pentecostal, Apostolic, Methodist. I've preached at all of them. So I don't have no. See, that's what I'm saying. With like what you just did right there, I'm not saying that you blatantly did, and I don't want you to think I'm like kind of being condescending. But that's what people like to do. I don't like when nobody try to categorize me because I'm none of that. I'm no Protestant. I'm no whatever. I'm no Baptist. I'm none of that. When people say, "What are you?" I always tell them, "Well, what did Jesus call himself?" Nothing. Well, then that's what I am. I didn't see Jesus going around going, "I'm a Baptist," or "I'm a Methodist," or "I'm a Presbyterian," "I'm a Protestant." I'm following after him, and that's what I'm doing, and that's it. So I'm not no. I don't like when nobody try to categorize me or say he seemed like he's more on the apostolic. He seemed like he's more of a little Baptist. No, I'm not none of those. I'm I'm me, and just get my words from him, and it's that simple. It's really easy, guys. Yeah, JT, that's right. I got friends that's like that right now. Steve Fletcher, and you know what you said right now is one of the first things that people love about it is because I'm just giving y'all an example. There was a time where if somebody said, "Oh man, what church you go to?" If you say, "Oh yeah, I go to I'm just throwing something out there. I go to First Pentecostal." They go, "Oh, y'all those people that speak in tongues and wear dresses and don't wear makeup and wear long hair." Oh, I'm not going. All of a sudden, a wall go up, and now we can't even communicate and be friends and can potentially have a futuristically great relationship as human beings. Period. But because I told you that I was a Methodist and you told me that you was a Catholic, up a wall went up. Because them Catholics believe in this, or no, them Protestants they believe in this. Oh man, them Methodists they believe in. Is all it does is just keeps us separated. Period. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not about that. Jesus never came on the scene sitting there saying, "I'm this, I'm that, and I'm that." And those of you that's like that, no, I don't deal with y'all. No, he just came there for people, and that's what I'm like. I love people. I love talking with people. I love trying to enhance people's life the best ability that I can. But at the same time, if nobody is trying to do that for themselves and they don't have the heart or the mind to want to actually change, then there's no sense in me talking to them. I really like to talk and deal with people and help people that actually is trying to do something better for themselves. But for people that just want to be here like, well, how come this? Well, how come the? I'm like, okay, look, I'm not about to. So I just don't do it. I've been doing this for too long now. I hear you, JT. Absolutely. See, what I don't get is that a lot of times is that I've been told my friends, I got families, guys, I have no idea, different places that I've been to. A lot of people want to come and hand me books. All right, Leon, you have a good night. They want to come and hand me books. They want to kind of hand me different versions. They want to, hey, this guy right here, you ought to read what he says. But when it all comes down to it, it's fine that they want me to do that. I think it's cool. But my thing is, I still have to come down to the conclusion of what is that going to have to do with Christ and what he did at the cross? No matter how many books I read of the old or anything like that, what is that going to have to do with what he's doing right now in your life right now, in his kingdom right now? That's what I like to ask. Steve Fletcher, absolutely right. And I tell people, man, if there's something that I don't understand, I would. You guys see many times if somebody says something to me, I'll say, I don't know what that means, or I don't know what that is. So I just leave it at that. I don't try to make myself seem like I know everything, but the stuff that I do know, I know, and I know it really well. So that's it. Do I believe abortion is wrong? Yes. It's murdering a child. That's the way I look at it. When I don't, and again, when me saying this, I want everybody to know, with me saying that I don't believe in abortion, I'm simply in saying I don't think it's right to kill a child, right? I don't think it's right to kill a baby. So, and the reason why I say that, I don't want nobody to try to categorize me as being a part of some pro or con, whatever. I just don't. I think you're killing a person that didn't do anything wrong. I mean, it's like it's killing a it's. Hello, Russell. It's like killing an innocent child to me. Abraham, you first got to be black. He said, "How do I get my hair like yours?" He said, JT, sis, you are exactly right. That's what I'm talking about. See, people be forgetting things like this, JT. Okay, check this out. When you go to a church, and even if you do become a little bit involved, if they start to notice things in you that they may not see that the Bible coincide with, they'll start to point it out at you. Like, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing this. Well, guess what? Jesus them caught a woman in adultery. They pulled this woman out in front of Jesus. You know what he said to her? He said, I don't accuse you. I don't condemn you. Just go and don't do it again. But in churches today, no, you got to go through like a 10-step program, and you need to be prayed for. You need to be baptized, dipped in the water 19 times to fully be. Then after that, they're going to lay your body out and pour a big gallon of oil over you so you can be I know I'm making some people mad, but I'm just saying it some of the stuff we do is just absolutely foolishness. It makes you feel good about maybe something that but it's not going to work if this is not talked about, or if this is not changed, then the person's not going to change. You're not going to change nobody by condemning people all the time, because the first thing people do is become defensive. You're never going to try to get to me and change me by telling me how bad of a person I am or how wrong I am, especially when I don't think that I've done nothing wrong. That's what I hate when people say, "Man, we got to go out there and witness to those sinners." Why are you calling them that? Don't. Why are you people go through their life and figure, "Hey, I do good. I raise a good family." Well, what do you go to church? Well, I don't really attend church. Well, no, 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 no. You're wrong right there. So you can't do that to people. God does not need our help. He does not need our help to get people's attention. Nobody witnessed to me. Nobody made me go to a church when God revealed himself to me. I was in my most desperate moment, 10 years old, crying out on the cold floor, hadn't eaten in 3 days. I was starving to death. I called on God. I called on Buddha. I called on Krishna. I called on Voodoo Lakna. I called on Muhammad. I called on everything that I can think of because I was starving to death and I really wanted to die that night. And one showed up. And that's what I'm saying. And whether people want to believe me or not, I do not care if they believe me saying this or not. But I know what happened to me. I know from that moment on, I was completely changed. I knew from that moment on that God existed. I know that from that moment on, He spoke to me because what He told me to do and how everything lined up when I went and did what He told me to do. And these people were already as if they heard from Him already to do these things for me. There ain't no man. That's why I say I'm not gonna waste my time trying to convince people that he is real because just like he showed himself to me and revealed, and when I say show, I don't mean like he stood in front of me physically. I mean the way he presented himself to me with his words. That I don't care who believes me or not. That's you. You don't have to believe me. You can tell me right now, MRM, I don't believe you. I'm gonna be like, okay, that's fine. But nobody's gonna take that experience from me and what I'm currently experiencing from that day on. So okay, somebody comment got blocked, so I don't know what happened there, but it. Oh, JT, I already know, sis. You're worldly. I know that talk right there. I know that talk. Right. So my thing is, Mickey, you said he gave because he told about the five, teachers, preachers, evangelists, prophets. That's fine. But my thing is this: anybody that's teaching you, no matter what it is that they're teaching you or trying to tell you, it should still all come to one conclusion. That's leading you to Christ. This church shouldn't be centered focused on where I have to always be the one to be your leader or your guide or your teacher because then it'll make what he said about his Holy Spirit obsolete. He said he will send another comforter and it will lead you into all truth and righteousness. All truth and righteousness. Right? Well, I don't. Well, so for me, I'm talking to me. I'm not saying you. So for me to sit here and say, well, even though I got God's Holy Spirit and I know it says it'll lead me into all truth and righteousness, I still believe that I need a preacher or a teacher. So then, what do I need His Spirit for then? Because don't get me wrong, I'm not, and like I said, I'm not saying that we don't need preachers and teachers and all that. I'm talking about once you get His Spirit, it has to be allowed. You have to allow it to do exactly what the Spirit said it's going to do. But if I sit there and I put my heart, my mind, and my soul and my trust in man, then what's the point of having Him? Lenora. Oh wow, awesome name. I hear you, Lenora. Well, that's the thing though. People want you to feel bad about yourself if you don't go to church. That's the y'all be honest. I mean, be honest. You know good and well. I'm just telling y'all the truth. I've been this since I was gosh. I've been with God since I was 10 years old. But my thing is how it feels awful when somebody tries to force when somebody tries to force you to like, you know, go to church. Well, even when they knock on your doors, I mean, now I look, I follow Christ right now. When they knock on my door to this day, I'm like, look, you're already making a person feel uncomfortable because you're knocking on their door. I mean, it's just, instantly in your mind, like, oh, here go these folks again. So a lot of times if they come to my house, I'll just speak another language. Ah, who? Who? Jesus? Jesus? Oh, te se kalama cosita. Te chiamo bon kukum nah. And they'll say, okay, you have a good day, sir. And I go, bye. So, because, it's annoying. And, people say, well, the Bible says that you're supposed to go through the highways and the byways. He wasn't talking to us. He was not talking to us. Yeah, hell, you're absolutely right, sis. You are absolutely right. Praying is only muttering into the air. No, it's not. Not when I talk to him. No, it's not. Because that's like me talking to you right now. You just saying I'm just muttering things into the air, so you don't hear what I'm saying. If you so pretty much if talking into the air and not hearing nothing back. No, I hear back. Oh my God, JT, exactly. It's almost like they want y'all to be salesmen. I mean, what you saying right now, JT, that's what I like about it. You being open and honest, you're not holding nothing back. People seem like they're scared to speak out about how this stuff made them feel. And that's when I go to churches. If I talk to people at churches, I let them know, be honest. Let them know that when you do that, nobody likes to feel that pure pressure or trying to force me to go do something that it's not even in my heart to even do. Look how you guys came to this channel. Not one time on my channel did I ever try to say, well, guys, this is what we're about to talk about right now, and y'all need to listen. Because no, I just talked to y'all as one human being to another. Then it came from people asking me the question. So what do you believe about this, MRM? What do you believe about that? Then I gave the answers to what I believe, but I never once came at nobody trying to tell you guys like, oh, don't do this around me. Don't give me no songs that pertain cussing, because I mean that's what church has taught you, a curse word. I mean, my goodness. You see movies that got cuss words. Oh, my holy ears have been seared, and I can't think no more. I got to go pray all for 2 weeks now to get my brain off the cuss word that was said in that movie. I mean, come on. I mean, but see, I'm laughing because this is what it was in a lot of different churches that I've been to or the organization that I came up in. I mean, man, you couldn't even. I had to go talk to the teen boys, okay? I let the teens know that there's nothing wrong with them feeling sexual emotions towards females. I had to let them know that because they were told that they were sinning. You're full of lust. No, that's something called adolescence. That's something called going through puberty. That's something called your hormones are kicking in. Now girls don't look the same anymore. They actually start to look kind of good and sexy. There's nothing wrong with that. You were designed to be like that. So oh, we need to go pray over him and lay hands on him and drench him with the anointing oil because he's starting to have sexual thoughts. You're supposed to. Now, I'm not talking about like pornography and nothing like that, but the way when boys start to develop now, I'm talking about, I'm not, anyway, I'm saying what I'm saying. Ty, you say you're an evangelist, but most of them I see are haters. You are not. You have no hate, just love and good advice. That's all. That's exactly what it's supposed to be. Somebody can get in here and bash me right now. I'm still not gonna. Yep, Steve Fletcher. That's absolutely right. But see, the thing is, church would teach them like, oh, we need to pray for you because you shouldn't be lusting after no girl. It's not lust that they're doing. It's why did God create it to happen at that? I mean, why did God create it to happen during that time? We are missing a Dolly Parton video, guys. Did y'all know that? Which one is that? Which one is that, JT? I mean, if y'all want to go watch a Dolly Parton video, y'all can go ahead and I can stay right here a little bit. But do y'all want to go and watch the Dolly Parton video? Absolutely. Somebody said they're watching both. Oh wow, yeah, JT. I know that. I know that all too well. Holy smokes! Then there's one near that one too, JC, called IBC, Indiana Bible College. Andrea, no. Bad things happen. You said, okay, you said if a person believes in God, then why do bad things still happen to them? Is it God testing them? No. See, what people do, they try to say, well, no, because he did it to Job, and no, 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 no. If a bad thing happens to you from another person, that person that did the wrongdoing to you, they chose their free will to bring harm upon you. It has nothing to do with your relationship with God or anything like that. If I walk out my house tomorrow and somebody comes and rob me, it has nothing to do with God. It has everything to do with that person that decided to rob me. That's where I hate. It's hard for people to swallow that pill, but it's free will. Two viewer, that's awesome. What in the world? Some people are in both chats and the live. JT, I actually used to go there. I actually used to go there and we actually used to go there and play. Two of my friends. But the thing is, that's what a lot of people see. That's what I'm saying. It can be so messed up, man, because you have to. That's what I'm saying. All what I'm telling you right now, this did not come from nobody teaching me or reading the Bible. I simply, guys, I'm telling you, I cannot make it as crystal clear and as simply as I try to. Is that you just talk to the source, and that source will speak to you back. Talk to God. He will talk back to you through your conscience. I'm just telling you. I don't know how much more simple I can make it, but the thing is, people have been so, I call it like churchanized, or the way church has always presented God to be, that it's hard for them to just accept it for being this simple. So you telling me all I got to do is just talk to him and he'll speak back to me. I'm just telling you that's I mean, I don't know what better, I don't know. But if you go to it with doubts like, okay, God, are you really here? He probably ain't gonna speak to you, because if you approach me like that, I wouldn't speak to you either. If you come up to me and say MRM, so you a black man, I'm just gonna look at you like, okay, next. I mean, so, but no, I know, but that's what it is that quantum physics is more tangible. Hell, you're crazy. Yeah, but the thing is that, see what I'm saying is that I just think that, it's so many people, it's so many people in this world. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I have never I have never in my whole entire life in ministry ever, ever seen so much depression amongst people. I mean, it is absolutely crazy the amount of emails I get, and even when I go to church and I speak at a church or something, the amount of people that are in church that comes to me, and man, I've been battling this. It just blows my mind. And then that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to do my best to tell people how they can get out of it, but people don't want that because it's too simple. For instance, I had a patient who her daughter has been battling migraines, for almost a year. She said they did CAT scans, they did all this different stuff. She said she got medicine. She said she just is devastating. They can't go and enjoy family function because her migraines tear her to pieces. I said, well, have your daughter just like not eat anything, like take her off of the meat and have her do this juicing regimen I'm gonna give her. And then also I want her to do like a coffee enema every day. 1 week, this woman juiced carrots and apples. And she took the carrot and apple juice, 8 ounces of carrot and apple juice every 2 hours. That was it. No other food. She just did the juicing and she did a coffee enema a day. By the fourth day, boom, migraine completely gone. See, I can tell you this, but some people be like, man, no, because so how come if that's the truth, then the doctors don't? I don't care what the doctors do or what the doctors don't do. All I'm telling you is I'm giving you the answer to what's going to help you get where you need to get. If you don't want to accept that answer, then I'm just going to move on. But I'm not going to sit here and argue with why this doctor this and why this doctor that. And if that's the truth, how come they don't have commercials on? Or if that's the truth, how come they don't have this? Or if that's the truth, how come this? But all I know, if this patient was here with me right now, she would talk to you guys and say, I've been battling migraines for almost a year after a car accident. She'll tell you that Vicodin didn't knock it off. She'll tell you that the opioids didn't knock it off. She'll tell you that Oxycontin, Oxycodone, she'll tell you it did not do nothing for her migraines at all. She just was devastated. And then when she did this, and within 4 days, the migraine gone. So if this lady got on here and told people that, people still be like, well, it was just a coincidence. Maybe the medicine actually really kicked. I mean, I'll just okay, forget it. You just be like, forget it. Cause so when I deal with people like that, I'm like, okay. So in other words, what I say is that when I whenever I do talk about this and I go around and people say, dude, how in the world, how are you staying so positive all the time? Like you never up and down. Even when bad things happen, you still seem to be, because the thing is, I already know what the outcome is going to be. I know no matter what, God said he's going to supply my every need. So I'm not going to sit here and worry about this and worry about that, because he said if he cares so much for a sparrow, how much more is he going to care for his most precious creations, which is you and I. So, but the problem is that people have been taught to want. He said he'll supply your needs. And that's why at the end of my videos, I talk to you guys about the 4 pillars: food, shelter, clothing, and great health. That's the only thing in this life that matters. That's the only thing that really needs to be taught to human beings from the day that you are understanding language. That needs to be taught now. Other things like getting a house or getting a car or all getting a certain type of clothing or getting a certain type of whatever, those things ought to be taught as secondary. And that's how I teach my sons. The only thing that matters in this life right now is food, shelter, clothing, and great health. Because guess what? When you're on your deathbed, those 4 pillars are going to be the things that you want back. For one, you're going to want your health back, number one. When I see patients that made like a miraculous recovery from juicing, whatever, sometimes, a lot of times, the next thing they want to do, they want to eat food. And if they're in the hospital, they want to take a bath, get washed up, take a shower that they haven't taken for a long time, and then they want to put their clothes on, and then guess what? They want to go home. So that's why I'm so passionate about talking about stuff like this, because the thing is, I started this channel because I have a love for people. I want to see people, you know, I want to see people. I want to see people do well. I want to see people having nice, joyous lives. But you're not gonna get there if it's all gonna come down to. I mean, apparently, like for instance, somebody tell me that they've been battling depression for 6 or 7 years, and especially if they tell me that, especially if they tell me that they've been part of a church for, I've been in church for 20 years and I've been battling depression for 9 years. I'm like, wait, so you've been a part of this church for you've been a part of a church for 9 years, and you still, you've been a part of this church for 15 years, and you've been battling depression for 9 years. I'm trying to figure out man, how come something hasn't happened yet? So, well, like I said, that's just the way I think and all that. That's not just the way I think, but that's just what I've seen and what I perceived and what I've seen people how they come off of things. So, something to consider: after the Spirit saved thousands at Pentecost, we immediately read they were continually devoting themselves to the apostles' teachings. Right? That's how people started the faith of apostolic, what the apostles taught. James Gordon, I appreciate that. No, JT, coming up on the streets, man, I was terrible. I packed a gun. I was the first one to shoot at somebody. I was the first one that I waited for somebody to give me a bad look. I was so I was so depressed. And when I tell you, when I was like 10 years, I was so depressed in what was going on with me that I got to the, like, about the second day of me not eating anything, I got to the point to where I felt
These people always had these dogs that always got out the fence, okay? And they were pit bulls. I was so hungry and so messed up and so angry, so rageful. I felt like those pit bulls were teasing me. So this time when one of them got out the fence, he got a hold of me. That pit bull didn't live. I mean, it was just a bad start. I just went around any dog I felt that was a threat to me, I killed it. I mean, I would bust their heads with bricks, and then once they fall on the ground, I would just take the brick and start taking it to their heads and crush the skulls. I was terrible. Then I packed a gun once I was like preteen and the wrong person. I'll pull out on them when they ran. Of course, I didn't like shoot. I shot at them per se, but I didn't shoot at them. I shot like around them, but somebody look at me the wrong way, I look at them and I mug. If they say something to me like what, I would punch them. I mean, it was just bad. And of course, a lot of my family, members, all that were there. Everybody was be big time drug lords and gang leaders, whatever. And so they would actually come and get me to be the one to start something off. If I found out that one of my cousins got in a fight or something like that and he got jumped, the first person they came and grabbed was me, because they knew when I went there, I was coming with rage. I didn't feel nobody punching me or anything, but somebody was definitely going to be getting, and I didn't care. I If we're fighting, I don't care if my mouth is near your ear or your lips or your cheeks, I'm biting something off. I don't care. Temper was disastrous. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Colin. That's what I'm saying. That's the person that rageful, that temper, that's what I was. I mean, I got scars and stuff all on my hands and stuff on. You probably can't see there's a scar across my hand right here. All right here on my wrist right here, this right there. A lot of these things came from freaking, when a dog wanted to attack, I waited for him to jump up and grab onto my arm. When the dog, they always go for your arm. When he jumped up and grabbed onto my arm, I grabbed that throat, I start squeezing, then I just start slamming the living daylights out the dog, slamming him up against a wall, a building or a house, just kept pounding and pounding and pounding, and jump up in the air and jump on his ribs and crush his rib, take a brick, just start bashing his head in, just straight wicked, rageful. A lot of these things can happen. A lot of these things can happen when you don't have, like, especially if you don't have like a covering. And what I mean by that, you don't have, like, for instance, our dad was not in our lives. So you left open with this rage. You get mad because you feel that don't nobody want you. You get mad because you're trying to figure out how come all the other kids around the neighborhood, they got better clothes than you do. And you see these kids, my dad about to take me fishing, or my dad about to take me here. And you trying to figure out how come you don't get that? How come that didn't happen to you? So you become wrathful, you become rageful. And these kids getting Christmas presents. Oh, my dad bought me a bike. And, my dad taking me to go shoot basketball. And you up here like, man, I wish we didn't have that. Me and my brothers, we didn't have that. So we just like, you open to influences of anybody. So then you got these thugs and these gangsters and drug lords around the city that'll sit there and tell you things like, hey, this is what a real love is. We'll take care of you. Look, little man, here go $20. Go buy you something. Now, what I want you to do, put this backpack on for me. Run about 2 blocks that way. Take the backpack off, put it in the garbage can that got a red lid, and there's going to be another guy standing down there. He going to give you a backpack, and you run that backpack back to me. So that's how a lot of stuff started. That's how a lot of gangsters and a lot of thugs and even drug lords, that's how they can easily get young men to join, because most of us don't got no dads. Now it's at almost 80% of young blacks they come from a single parent home. That's astronomical. It's absolutely astronomical, man. Steve Fletcher, no, I never lost conscious. Whatever I was fighting or whoever I was fighting, they lost conscious. I'm serious, man. It was bad. It was bad. Now this was after Christ. Now remember, I said that this experience happened to me when I was 10 years old. Now when that stuff was going on, of course, that's why I said I know it's a fact. It's a choice. It's a choice. His spirit was sitting there telling me, leave it alone, just walk away. But guess what? I was so mad, I didn't want to walk away. I wanted to do it. You guys know how it is. Somebody make you mad, and even if that person comes back and apologize, you don't want them to apologize, because I want to stay mad at you, because I feel like I got an upper hand on you now. I want to stay mad at you. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I know I ain't the only one that experienced nothing like that, where, you can be friends with somebody, y'all cool, whatever like that, and they can say something to offend you, and y'all get in a big old argument, and you mad at them, even if especially when the person is wrong. And when a person is wrong and you're mad at them, And ooh, now you got an upper hand on them. You got a right to snap out on them and all that. And then they come and they say, you know what? I'm so sorry about what I did. I don't want you to apologize because I want to stay mad at you. I want to be rageful at you because now I feel like I can get some stuff off my chest that I've been holding in for a long time now. So, so that's what I'm saying. Oh, don't be serious. I understand that, sir. I dealt with a lot of kids that went through exactly what you're going through too. Hey, check this out. Somebody asked, was I bullied in school? No, no. I guess people can sense a vibe off of certain people. I never talked in school or anything like that. I was always kind of outgoing, whatever, but I never talked. Now, some tried to bully, but it didn't work out because, guys, I didn't tell y'all, I come from a huge family, and every other person in school was my cousin. So, but what would happen is that we didn't even, and here's the thing though, a lot of times in the city, I'm telling you guys, I don't know what it is. I know that in the hood, in the ghetto public schools, there was no such thing as bullying. We didn't tolerate that. We seen somebody picking on somebody, we beat that person up. Yeah, we especially if it's somebody like, let's just say, I'm giving an example. It was this type of, it would be a kid that would be getting picked on by somebody else. We would just go and beat that dude up and tell him, don't you now mess with him again. We just didn't like that. It didn't, that stuff never happened around us, not in the hood, not in the public schools that I went to. Nobody got bullied in the public schools because the bullies got beat up. We sitting there waiting. So you want to mess with little Ricky? Wait till after school. Wait till after 3 o'clock. When you walking home, watch what happened to you. That's how we were. Barbara, is my Secretary of Defense here? Extra strip 11, whatever your name is. That's not gonna work. That is not gonna work. Nice try. Nice knowing you. You just got flagged. You just got flagged, and your channel's probably about to get shut down. Thanks for that. No, we didn't, bully wasn't tolerated around us. Two viewer, you said you still have the same situation for about 30 years now. What is that? Oh, I hear what you're saying, hell. But see, um, you said once walked out the hotel where a wedding was about to start and I smashed everything. Hell, I understand. Even right now, Helena, I tell some of the people that I talk to, they got the depression going on and they just about to explode. I tell them, somebody that I talk to, I go to them and I let them know how I say, look, go in a room, go in a room right now, go scream, go yell, do what you need to do, you know, beat a pillow, bite the pillow, whatever you need to do to get that anger out, do it. Because I'm telling you, if you keep that stuff in, it's going to do one or two things. It's going to explode in a way to where you're going to hurt somebody around you, either with your words, or you're going to hurt them physically, or it's actually going to kill you. It can literally kill you. It's scientifically proven that holding on to a ton of stress, especially hurtful stress and stuff that you haven't been relieved of, it can actually cause your heart to go bad. It can cause your organs to function differently. I'm telling you, if you don't believe me, all you got to do is think of a situation that made you mad and watch how your heart rate go up. All you got to do is think about a situation where somebody ticked you off. Watch you start to relive it again. Your heart rate start to kick in. You might start to sweat. Then sometimes you might even find yourself talking it out. You know what I mean? Tachycardia. Okay, JT. If you get that, a bunch of big, deep, I mean, deep, 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 deep breaths. You suck in as much air as you can until you can't. Then you blow out as much air as you possibly can. But when you blowing the air out, make your mouth like as if you're going to be blowing through a straw. JT, you was a peacemaker. I hear you. But yeah, so I mean, that's this is what this life is supposed to be about. You know, it's not supposed to be. We shouldn't be having to live through this life with the, you know, with the anger, with hate, with depression. I mean, I want it. I wish that people would be joyous. You know, having being okay all the time, and you can get there. But it's just that I can help you as much as I can by giving the advice. But I'm telling you, it's going to come from that source. People have told me things all the time, like I did what you said, and I just had, especially my first person that I actually had a phone call to, he said, I have to call you. Please, can I call you? And when I talked to him, he told me that something that I spoke about in a particular night, he was getting ready to take some pills to kill himself. But he was getting ready to take some pills to kill himself, and he took a picture of the pills and sent it to me, saying, this is what I was getting ready to take right here, man, until you started talking about a certain thing. He was going to listen to 3 songs, and then after the third song, he was going to kill himself. He said, so the second song that he was about to listen to, he's like, who was this black dude listening to this? I think it was I think it was Chris Stapleton, Fire Away. And when I started talking at the end, he said, dude, it seemed like you were speaking exactly to me. And he said, since then, I mean, I'm not going to say his name because he don't want me to. I know he don't, but this dude has completely did a 360. It's amazing. I love it. I absolutely love it. My point is, he turned his life around. He said it. uh, a nice chemo maki. Nice. Nuts. Thank you, Mr. Kimmy Maki, Mr. Helper Helpington. Rob, by the way, Rob Kender, I did hear what you said earlier too about being back in here and everything and all that good stuff. And you said that you saw my message and all that. So I did see that. I just wanted to let you know that I didn't forgot. Colin, I understand that. I understand that. You know what, Colin? A lot of times Victor probably don't even remember that he probably won't even remember that he did that to you. That's what's crazy about it. That's why I always talk about as far as the forgiveness and all that goes. And I understand that you can be rageful over it because I get it. But it's crazy that you can be harnessing that and holding on to that. And this dude that went on about his life, he probably married, got kids, and doing great. And then you're the one left with what he did to you. So that's why, as a matter of fact, you got to get to a point to where you can get ready to try to let that go. Forgive that person for what they did. But only when you're ready to, because nobody can just forgive somebody just like that. I mean, it takes time. Guadalajara, ya speak Mexico. Yeah, that's crazy what happened to you, hell man. Oh wow, Mandy. Does she know that she did it to you, Mandy? Do you guys ever talk about that? My issue out of self-esteem is growing, but an abusive household, then going to that crazy church and college, etc. Wish I could figure out how to like me. Well, JT, the best thing I can do, the best thing I can tell you as far as that goes, JT, is a lot of times, I mean, I'm not saying this is you, but a lot of times, a lot of people don't even know who they are yet. You know what I mean? A lot of people a lot of people don't know who they are yet. And what I mean by that is like your likes. What's something that you like to do that makes you happy? What's something that you like to do that you would do it whether somebody paid you to do it or not? Because for instance, there can be okay, like I mean, I'm just telling you guys, when my friend Luli gave me the name Modern Renaissance Man, I never heard of the terminology. It's just that they were like, dude, you fix on cars, you know how to play all these different instruments, you're athletic, and this they named all these things off. So anyway, my point in saying that is that These multiple things that I do is what makes me who I am, if you get what I'm saying. So in order for you to be happy with you, find out what makes JT happy. What makes you happy? What makes you feel good when you do it? Manny, that's awesome. Am I pro life? I'm all about life. I'm for anybody to live. I want all people to live. I'm definitely don't want nobody to get killed. So yeah, I'm definitely for life. Joshua had none. Yeah. I had been holding a grudge against my neighbor who felt hurt me and abandoned me as a friend. Turns out I was the problem and I owned up to it. We're great friends now. That's awesome, Kate. I love hearing that. All right, Bob. I'm sorry. I meant Rob. I'm thinking about Bob Morris. All right, Rob Kinder. Everybody, Rob Kinder is okay for the ones that asked. I'm glad you came, Rob, because people were worried. Yep, Steve. Yeah, because there's people that can do you wrong, man, but you just got to take that. There's a way, and you got to be mature enough to be able to handle it to where you can take that energy. For instance, that's how I became like a champion in doing track and field because all that anger that I was harnessing from not having like a father in your life or not being able to have the best clothes, not being able to have like Christmases with gifts and birthdays with things you might want for your birthdays, and you see all your friends all around you. Not that they're bragging, but all they're doing is telling, "Oh man, I got a new bike, I got a new skateboard, I got this, I got that," and then you like, "Oh well, they be like, what you get for Christmas?" Then you might have to lie. "Oh yeah, we got a this, but my mom said we can't bring it out." So anyway, I would take all that hurt and that anger and that rage, and I would harness that into doing my track and field. That's what I would do because all the energy that can go in you can be used as a positive energy, period. You know what I'm trying to say? Fire. Is fire bad? Fire is bad, right? But fire can be used to actually do something positive. It can power energy. I mean, it can power. I mean, it is energy, but it can power vehicles. You know what I'm saying? It cooks your food. It can do so much, but at the same time, used in the wrong way, fire can be detrimental. It can be destructive. So that's why I talk about like feelings and words and depression and emotion. Even depression. Your depression can be used in a good way, but it's just that you have to take the depression that you might be dealing with and put it in a situation to where it can be used in a positive way. Get around other people that are depressed. Then you might find that somebody is way worse off than you. Then you might be like, well, God dang, I ain't never done nothing like that. So, woo, I thought my depression was bad. I mean, theirs is bad enough to where, I mean, woo. So, what's going on, Matt Putzig? I appreciate that, Vicky. I see it all the time. You know what, Vicky? The crazy thing is that I I I only know about what media does based off of how people talk to me. And when people talk to me, they always say things like, "Oh, they say that if you," I'm like, "Well, who's saying this?" They're like, "Oh, on TV." I'm like, "Oh my God, on TV." So, Mark Wessel, yeah, you missed quite a bit. No, I'm just kidding. But hell, honestly though, are you doing okay since all that, or is it still kind of, it's still kind of with you? Is hell still in here? My computer programmer. Okay, JT. But I guess the question I was going to ask you is, when you hear their stories, do you also tell yours during that time? Well, man, Colin, that's terrible, man. Yeah, Kate, and see, like what you're saying right now, that's why I try to talk to some of these younger kids because they're being taught, they're being taught to go into this life and go after these things. You know what I'm saying? They get taught to go through life and go after these things, have no idea these things gonna drive you crazy because now you got to work extra hours. You can't enjoy your family. You can't enjoy life because you're working to pay for these things that you got. I don't care. Somebody can sit there, man. Like, can I afford a BMW or a Benz? Yes, but do I have one? No. You want to know why? Because what my Toyota Tundra does, and my y'all seen the video I did with my '98 Chevy Cavalier. What my '98 Chevy Cavalier, my Toyota Tundra, or my Nissan Quest, guess what? They both get me to point A and point B, just like that BMW and that Mercedes Benz will. The Mercedes Benz and all that might look better, but still the function of the car itself is to get me from point A to point B. I don't care what kind of car it is. So that's why I try to teach people, like, don't go for these things that just because somebody have a luxurious car like that makes them better. You do know that within 3 days if they don't take a bath, they're gonna stink, right? You do know that when they do the number two, it's gonna smell, right? You do know they have to wipe their butt with tissue, right? You do know they have to brush their teeth, right? So it doesn't matter. I don't know why people have this concept that if people are of a certain socioeconomic status, like they're some type of better human, they still gonna smell if they don't take a bath in 3 or 4 days. They're gonna smell. So that's what I mean. It's just But the thing is that they got media and billboards and magazines that it doesn't even tell them if they have a choice. You know what I'm saying? TV is one of the few things that can invade your mind with. TV is one of the few things that can push its ideas into your mind without your consent. They can do it. So that's why a lot of times when I go to these little seminars and all this, I really try to tell people. I try to talk about where I say things like, a higher, I call it superior minded thinking. Think about the smallest thing when it all comes down to it. Think about the function of it. Besides, well, here I am with my '98 Chevy Cavalier, but my friend over here, he got a BMW, so he better than me. No, my friend is actually more broke than I am because he's paying like $900 to keep that BMW payment up, and now he has to work like 4 extra hours, every day to keep up with the payments on that while keeping up with the car payment. I'm up here enjoying my life. I mean, it's so crazy because guess what? In the end, when I die and when my friend die, no one is gonna say, man, he sure had a pretty BMW. He sure had a pretty Mercedes Benz. Oh my God, that man, he sure was a great CEO. No, people are going to remember you for things that you've done for them. They're going to say, I remember when he bought me pizza, or I remember when he took me here. I remember I was walking, he did this. I remember my tire was messed up and he changed my tire. I remember when my car broke down, he fixed my car. Nobody's going to care about the fact that you had 3 BMWs and a Mercedes Benz and a big old immaculate house. Nobody's going to care about that. In fact, when you're dying, you're not going to care about that. Oh, JT, you said speaking of super depressed people that don't bathe, brush their teeth, care for themselves, want to die. How do I counsel those people? Well, what I do is like what I'm doing with you guys right now. I start off by talking about I don't even talk about their depression because my point in doing it is that whenever somebody come to me when somebody come to me and they're really depressed, then what I don't do, I don't talk about their depression. If you follow me, see, because here's the thing. I told you guys this story before. You have a pole outside, and most cars, when they get in a wreck, they hit those poles dead on. They hit the pole and they crash, right? Hardly ever does a car ever slide sideways into a pole. They always seem to hit the pole dead on. And we learn from experiences and from what we're told through the studies that the reason why people hit the poles dead on, even though they're trying to avoid hitting a light pole or a tree dead on, they never take their focus off of it. So even though you're trying to avoid hitting this tree or hitting this pole, you keep your mind on it so your body actually corrects you. Matter of fact, if you drive a car and you look to your left, guess what? You're going to find yourself drifting to the left. It happens. So NASCAR drivers are trained that if they get in a crash, their NASCAR drivers are taught to look to the center of the field, because if they spin out of control, they look to the center of the field because their body would correct them and turn towards the middle of the field. So the reason why I'm saying this all, JT, is this. If a person is coming to me and they're depressed, I let them tell me a little bit. They'll tell me that they're depressed, but guess what? I don't talk about their depression. I talk about things that they like. I talk about things that make them happy. And once they start talking about that, they start feeling good, because if I start talking about their depression, it makes them focus on their depression. If they all they do is focus on their depression, the deeper they go into the depression. My thing is to, if you know, my thing is to put the side things. I don't know what those things are horses wear, but put the side, I don't know, side blinders, I don't know, on them, and to turn their focus away from them. I turn their focus away from their depression. I focus on things that they like and love doing. I focus on things that make them happy. And whatever those things are, we don't do nothing but focus on those things, and we do those things. And when they start to do those things, the depression starts to leave. But I already know some people, well, that doesn't work for me, because that I get that well, I tried that. Well, no, 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 you tried it, but see, trying means you could, I mean, you can just sit there and say, I tried a bite of food. You tried it, but you didn't see what effect it was going to have on it. So I just keep on having them do the things that they like doing, the things that they love doing, the things that makes them happy, the things that that. But even if see what I'm saying, because a lot of, if you think about it, a lot of things that you love doing, a lot of things that that makes you happy, it doesn't seem like you have to try to do those things. You just do it because they make you happy. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's what I do. I don't make the focus on I don't make the focus about their depression. I focus on things that make them happy. Absolutely. That's that Helena, that's absolutely what you said. Oh, Matt, I know. You said you can get them cheap there, huh? Mary, counting your blessings. That's awesome, sis. James Gordon said, "You don't know that the left is trying to divide and conquer." The left? What is that? The left is trying to. I'm lost. Yeah, Colin, I see why you have a lot of anger. I understand that. But the thing is, the anger going to end up being the thing that can cause you to be kind of, I'm just telling you, I'm telling you from a standpoint, the anger is what can cause you to make irrational decisions. It can actually end up being the very thing that can lead you to your possible death. You know what I mean? Okay, JT, yeah, blinkers. Vicky, yeah, that's possible. It's possible. Matter of fact, you don't even have to go to another country. I can just I can just take them to some areas in Chicago, and they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, wow!" Now I can take you around some crackheads and politics. The left is politics. Oh, I don't know nothing about that. Is depression demonic? Well, it depends. Not necessarily. It's something that we call, see, when it says self-esteem, that means you said that about yourself. If it's self-awareness, that's self. Self-worth, that's what you feel you're worth. Self-esteem, that's your own self giving you esteem. So if people start to get these thoughts in their mind and they continue to water it and they agree with this, then that's why they go deeper into a depression. Hi, MRM. I've been married 50 years. Where did I go wrong? What? Where did you go wrong? You went right. But depression definitely can be demonic. There's I don't want to necessarily say demonic or demons. I'll just say devil. It can be devils influenced by devils. The Bible called them devils. All right, Lisa. I'm glad you're out of the hospital. No, 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 Vicky. When you said you didn't know politics wasn't allowed, no, no, no. You can talk about what you want to talk about, whatever. The only thing is, Vicky, is that I don't talk about politics because I don't know nothing about it. That's why I don't talk about it. But if I was into politics, no, my channel would be open to any of that. But I just don't talk about politics because I don't know anything about it. That's why I didn't know what the left was, and I don't. I guess there's a right too, huh? Is there a middle? A central? I don't know. Bob, y'all think I'm not kidding you guys when I tell you this. You said the left are liberals, socialists, Democrats. The right is conservatives, Republicans, libertarians. I have no idea what any of that means. I swear to you. I was not taught. We were not taught this stuff in public school, and I definitely didn't get it in college. When I went to college, college was focused on what you were trying to be as far as the trade go with your life. But I don't know. I'm lost. I don't know what no liberalist or no conservative. I have no idea what any of those words mean. I don't even get into politics or nothing. I don't vote. I don't. But yeah, I just wanted to let Vicky know that though. JT, I would have to check that out, sis. I don't think I read my email like in 2 days. I usually get off of this so late that I don't even have time to even go into it. I hear you, Joe Mueller. Talk, think, Kev, the basis. These one is a PV and the other one is a honer. Hohner. That one right there is molasses, and that one right there is honey. And no, I have not read Meditations. Maggie Z, you said you're kidding. I don't know what you're kidding about. I must have missed it. So, JT, just so I know I'm gonna probably have like a million emails just for my sanity. Could you send it again? Yes, Steve, they do, but sometimes it's a little bit more personal. They don't, and then they don't want a lot of people to know about it. So it's the same way when you go to a church seminar or something like that. If I get up in front of people and talk, some people are open about standing up and asking me questions and talking about things they're dealing with. Then the others will come up to me afterwards, and be like, "Hey, can I email you sometimes?" And hey, Colin, you know what you can do? I'm serious when I say this, Colin. You can find out where he is and try to find some avenues of calling him and letting him know, like, dude, do you remember when you did this to us when I was little? When you pushed me and I scraped my forehead and ripped the skin off? Let him know, dude, that hurt me and I'm angry. I've been angry at you for the longest. I've been angry at you for years. Da, da, da. Let him know how you feel. And he might turn around and say, look, dude, I'm sorry I did that to you. I was a terrible human being. I apologize. And then that can actually kind of give you a relief, man. But even then, you just got to be prepared. If he's like, dude, shut up, I don't care about you. That's why you have to try to get to a point to where you can forgive before you make that approach, because you don't know how he's going to react. Like I said, a lot of times if you do things like that, people first, even if you're wrong about something and you know you're wrong, people emotions jump in first. They become defensive. And when you become defensive, the other person is automatically wrong, even if they are telling the truth about something. So what I'm saying is that even though you might approach him, or if you call him on the phone and you tell him that he hurt you, he pushed you down, and you tell him how angry you are at him, if he goes on the defense, it might not be pretty. So that's why it's really good to really get yourself to a point to where you just say, you know what, you have to get yourself to a point, and it might take some maturity to get yourself to the point to where you have to be willing to forgive. Oh, okay. I thought you said you got pushed or something. Okay. Well, just give that a try, Colin. If you know where he lives, or you know any of his family members or anything like that, try to give him a phone call and let him know that at the age that you're at right now, that it still affects you and you're still angry. And let him know, I don't want to be angry at you no more. And he might apologize. Yes, Kate, that's absolutely right. Jonathan, you got a back injury? What kind of back injury you got? Okay, JT, I hear you, sis. Yeah, I do some of everything, Vicky. Politics are depressing. Oh, I don't know. I don't know nothing about it to even formulate an opinion or anything on it. I just don't know. That's not right. What was that? Tambor 76. You can if it's the same, if you request the same exact song, that's going to be one time. Like if somebody say, "Hey, do," like for instance, nobody can request for me to do no more Elvis songs. I have every last probably Elvis song written down. Hey, Jonathan, what are you having done to your back though? That's what I want to know. This dude tried to send me a link to come and check out. Okay, Tambar, yeah, it can be the same artist with a different song. That's fine. Um, Post Malone or Hazley, I'm not sure, JT. I would have to go to my you would have to go to my channel and type it in. I really don't know. I can't believe I've already reacted to over 700 some different songs, I think. So, yeah, Carl, I understand that you got autism. I actually work with a lot of my patients that are pediatrics, they're autistic, but at the same time, with you knowing that you got autism, you still have the power, though. You still have the power, and you have a great mind to where you can actually change the way that you think. That's what it all comes down to, Colin. It comes down to all about changing the way that you were taught to think. I know you have autism, but you can be taught to think differently, though. See, it'd be like me trying to say when I once had that crazy raging temper, that I could say, well, I can't do that because I have a bad temper. I had to want to change that temper. I'm not saying that you can sit there and change your autism, but you can change the way that you think. You know what I mean? You definitely can, because I've had a lot of them that done it. And a lot of them are not even as advanced as you are, though. Okay, so the person that's having a herniated disc from L5 through S1, you said? Let me find. Okay, disc herniation. Jonathan, your disc is herniated at L5? Holy smokes. I don't want you to get scared because I said that, but well, I can tell you this. If you are going to be having surgery around L, let me see, steroid shot, second MRI, disc is still bulging from 6 months ago, feel weakness in the lower body on the left side. Okay, Jonathan, did they do something on you called uh, lumbar traction and also McKenzie extensions? That's what I want to know. Okay, Colin, you can deal with it your own way. Let me know how it goes. JT, you have an inversion table? JT, when you use that inversion table, did you have somebody there to help you to put their hands like right at your waist and pull down while you're inverted? Because you need more than just gravity with an inversion table. You need somebody actually to grab your waist and kind of pull. Thank you, Nick B. Yeah, see the person that has the L5, it don't see what I would like to know, because that's what I would like to know is with the herniation, I would have to know how far is your disc herniated. I would like to know like how many millimeters is it out. Well, Matt, a pinched nerve, the pinched nerve can be from the fact that he does have a herniated disc. If your disc is being pressed, if your disc, if this right now, I'm trying to show, let me see. I'm sorry, guys. I'm weird about visuals. Okay. If this is your vertebrae right here, right? In between your vertebrae, you have a disc like this right there. Okay. See that? That little piece of candy? That's a disc, right? Now, from that, from these bones right here, your nerves come out to the side. If this disc is bulging out to the side, if it's bulging out to the side like this, and it's pressing that nerve is being compressed between two bones right there. That's where you get that's where you get the pinched nerve. But what I would have to know is, with in your particular case, what side of your leg is it going down, Jonathan? Man, Kate, from my years of experience with the stimulator, I would not do that. I would not do that. We had a, I'm telling you, Jonathan, for the one for the Jonathan. Okay, it's your left leg. Okay, now what you can do, you can call tomorrow and tell them that you want a copy of your MRI. Tell them you want to know, you want a copy of your or your X-ray to know, because your X-ray is going to give you something called impressions. Okay, it's going to tell you from L1 to L2. It'll say low disc space. It's going to say L3 to L4, such and such, such. It's going to say, you know, L5 to S1. It'll say something like herniated or bulging disc, or it'll say like ruptured disc or something like that. Now, you can also ask your doctors how many millimeters is my disc herniated, because there's a way you can fix it. But like I asked you before, I want to know if you actually have anything that, uh, if you have with your leg and all that. I want to know, is it when you say your leg, the sciatica, does it go down your whole leg or it only goes down partial? Woo. Matt, he shaved your disc at 5 millimeters? He shaved it? Oh my God. I mean, you could have fixed it, but I mean, I'm pretty sure they gave you some relief. Especially if you guys are talking around L5 is the easiest one. If you want a disc, you don't want no disc to go bad, but if a disc was to go bad, you would definitely want it to be L5. All right, Mark Wessel. Good night, sir. JT, the front of your knee or the back of your knee? Well, it has to be between L5 and Jonathan. It has to be between L5 and S1 because after S1 there ain't no more disc. Well, Nick B, if that's something like that, that's something in your neck. Then, if you feel it all in your tongue, you got some nerves that go like this called the trigeminal nerves. But if something happened there, that you sound like something's going on up there in your higher levels, like around C1, 2, and 3. Vicky, you are a neurologist? Are you serious? And you can't give advice? Why is that? Yeah, because a guy, if you have something going on, I mean, that's crazy. That's like higher level stuff. Up in the C1, C2 areas and all that. I mean, you might be dealing with you talking about numbness in your tongue and stuff like that. That might be some cranial nerve issues going on right there. Like, let me think. No, not olfactory. Optic, ocular, motor. Oh, once one takes trigeminal, trochlear. I mean, yeah, and then you got to make sure that, if you had an MRI of your brain or a CAT scan, make sure you didn't have nothing like a stroke, like a small stroke or something. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, Vicky. Yep, right here. When he said something about his face and all that, I just kind of thought about that at first, but then he started talking about his tongue going numb and everything like that. I'm thinking like, okay, that might be something dealing with the cranial nerves. Ooh, we hope it. Ooh, brainstem. That's definitely you definitely don't want nothing to happen there. And I'm pretty Vicky. I'm pretty sure you know that. I know you know that as a neurologist. Yeah, that brain man, man. When some people have a stroke in that area, man, that's I feel so bad because that's the last place you want to have a stroke is in that brain stem. That's where a lot of the stuff takes place. Like I mean, a lot of the functions. Period. The swallowing and it all depends on whether it's in the gray matter or the white matter. I mean, Bob, are you serious? Oh yeah, but you got something different. Hey Bob, hey man, you should throw something. You should throw it. Vicky is a neurologist. Vicky is a neurologist, man. That's man. I don't know if you. Vicky is a neurologist, Bob. You probably can tell her what you got going on. She probably can throw some of her expertise in on that. That's awesome. Vicky, I hope you subscribe to this channel because you definitely can help me out with a lot of the medical questions I get asked in here. It sure is. It all depends on how everything cross over. That's absolutely right. Whoa, 14 millimeters. Holy smokes. That's like almost out. Hey Vicky, there's this thing that you can do though. Oh my God, I can't think of it. Where you still can, you can set up your own website. If I remember it, through Luther Senior Services has this deal where if you're, even though let's just say if you're not practicing anymore, you still can hold your license and you can actually set up a website to where people, like for instance, I can come to you and I can call you and say, hey, I know for a fact that I have strep throat. You actually can write me a prescription to go get some amoxicillin or penicillin for the strep throat, and I have to pay you $55 to do it. But I know Luther Senior Services have something like that set up. I have to remember, but it's cool. There's a lot of doctors that are retired that don't practice anymore, but people will call them and just tell them, look, I know I got this going on. And then you actually write a script, a prescription for them to get the medicine filled, and then they would pay you $55 just to do that. Again, JT, try to do some redirecting. Well, the simple joys, you said $55. You said, wow, but just think about it. That keeps you from having to go to the ER. That keeps you from having to wait, who knows, 2 or 3 hours, then go into the back room, then for the wait on the nurse to do her little vital check, then wait for the doctor to come in, for them to swipe your throat, take it to the lab come back, tell you got the strep throat, write your prescription, have to get checked out, drive to go get the prescription, drop it off at Walgreens, drive away, wait for it to get filled, come back and pick it up. So I mean, and then somebody like me, I don't get sick. I just don't. But if something was to happen that major, and I thought I had it with me, but that's what I told them. Oh, I love to do that. If I sat there and called them and told them, hey, I got this going on, and they say, well, it's gonna be $55, and they write me a prescription to go get it, I love that versus going to an ER or anything like that. So, well, JT, that's what you want the man, JT. I'm telling you, that's what you want it to be all about. I'm telling you, do that as much as that little girl wants to. Okay, I hear you, Simple Joys. Oh man, Vicky. Holy smokes. So are you at a point though right now where you can't move, Vicky? Like, have anybody told you to try like a heated pool? Or even sometimes, I mean, I know you might not like it, but um, even like a cold pool, because what it does, it causes, you know how cold, for one, it can kind of make the nerves become a little numb with the cool, but it makes the muscles tense up. And when the muscles tense up, at least those muscles being tensed up can cause like a strong contraction. Then they just keep you in there for maybe about a good 2 minutes at the most. I'm talking about ice cold water. Then you immediately be taken out and put into some warm water, like called a contrast, whatever, like that. And that can soften up. Of course, you know that's going to cause your muscles to relax a little bit more. And when your muscles relax more, it can actually cause your pain to be lessened. Because I know it's caused by the it mainly it affects the skeletal muscles mainly. But a lot of patients that we treat to have that, they're in like a 98-degree heated pool. to make sure everything stays moving. We give them weights to stay in there so they can still have good connective tissue movement and all that. But yep, Steve, absolutely. Man, yeah, because trigeminal neuralgia is a beast, man. I mean, it's terrible. I know. I was just about to tell. I was getting ready to tell Vicky that. Like, have you tried the marijuana, ganja? One second, guys. I got somebody that wanted to come in here and see who I was talking to. What? What do you want? What does Balin want? What does Balin want? What does Balin want? What do you want, puppy? Yeah? I wanna go, go. I wanna go, go, go. I wanna go. Did y'all see him just do that? That's his way of telling me he wants something. When you just saw him doing like this, I do that to him too. When I do like this to him, he comes to me, and now he does that right there, and he's trying to tell me he wants something. I know, Doodle. What do you do about one? Oh my God, Daddy. What? That's a good boy. No. I don't know what the puppy wants. Okay, good boy. Well, that's what happened. He came in here, he was being nosy, and now he wants to go back out. You want to go get mommy? He needs a haircut. His hair is cut. He actually is freshly cut. Uh-huh. So JT, you must didn't see some of my other videos then, because you would have seen Balin real good. You would have known that his hair is cut. Hmm. Somebody's busted. To my Balin's his goatee. It was low. All right, have a good one, Colin. I'm getting ready to go to bed too. I have to do some documentation. I'm doing it right now as I'm talking to y'all a little bit. Hmm. Respiratory 18, 130 over 80. Left arm sitting. This is the left corner. Can I use my YouTube expenses? What do you mean, Steve? YouTube expenses. That would be cool if I could. That would be. I actually I don't even know. That would be really neat if I could, Steve. Bilateral knees, constant. Current level 3. Pain gets worse to 7. 1. Yes. Stage right. Vicky, no, thank you for sharing yours. I hope you're in these chat rooms a lot more, because it'd be very beneficial to hear from you. It very much will be, and I would actually like to learn some stuff from you too. I love when I talk to doctors and people in different medical fields to get their perspective and their expertise on stuff, because all it does is increases my arsenal. How you doing, David? All right, Ricardo Junco. Oh, Vicky, it doesn't. What the thing is to me, Vicky, as long as you know what you already know, I mean, even just to be able to bounce something off of you. I mean, if I'm talking, because a lot of times I get medical questions in here, and just for even for you to throw your input on in it will be just beneficial. Period. Dustin, you say I've never heard of Queen. Look, for one thing, I don't have to front, nor do I have to explain to you why. I mean, if I don't know something, I just don't know something. Plain and simple. So Bohemian Rhapsody, whatever, Rhapsody, however you say it, whatever. If that's the way I said it, that's the way I said it. Period. That's just like if I told you, okay, okay, Dustin, this is what I want to do right here. Dustin, okay, I just sent you something. Dustin, tell me what that says. Dustin, I just sent you something. I want you to tell me what that says. I want you to spell out what you think that word is I just sent you. No, I want you to tell me, I want you to spell out how you think that is pronounced. I want you to spell it in your own words how you think it's pronounced, Dustin. Oh no, Steve, I'm not being trolled. This is too easy. Barb, don't worry about it yet. Don't worry about Dustin yet, Barb. Don't worry about it. I want to see what Dustin's response is going to be. I thought so. Like I thought. Stop pretending and try to avoid the question, Dustin. I want you to I want you to I want you to spell out how you think that that is pronounced. In your own words, spell out how you think that's pronounced. Dustin, you were about to be left and what your name is spelled like, but take away the in dust. Peace. Is this channel about communism? No, it can't be because I don't know what that is. It's pronounced with a TH. Thalian. Just like that. Thalian. It's Rhapsody, right? Rhapsody. Rhapsody. But that stuff don't bother me though. It really don't. Okay. Well, enjoy that communism. Kati. Kati. Hmm. Oh, surely lions aren't all that bad. He is a labradoodle. Balin is a labradoodle. I want Balin to visit for her birthday. No, Helena, you're not. If you don't like dogs, you just don't like dogs. I mean, I like dogs and cats. I just can't have a cat because it makes my wife, I guess, allergies or something act up, whatever. Do I think God works through animals? I don't think so. Now, if you're talking about a form that dogs help calm people down, I can just say that's just the nature of the dog. But to say that that's God doing it, I don't know if I can say that. Johnny, yes, it could be. And use as I think that's S1. S1 can cause your private area to hurt. A 17-pound cat, god dang. That's a baby lion. Jeez. A 17-pound cat. Holy smokes. All right, good people. I think I'm getting ready to go and mellow down. I have to take care of a few things. I have to finish some documentation and get my people loaded for tomorrow. and all that good stuff. So I'm getting ready to check out, everybody. Okay. Appreciate the conversation tonight. Enjoyed you guys and all that good stuff. We'll probably do it again tomorrow. I don't know about the live chat, but we definitely going to be here tomorrow doing the videos and all that stuff like that. So, oh, Steve, I have a backyard. I just let him out and all that. I just let him out. So, but yeah, I'll catch you guys tomorrow and we'll just see what we do from there. If it comes off as natural as it did tonight, we'll just do it the same exact way. And nice meeting you, Vicky, Doc, and the new people that came here tonight. And I look forward to seeing y'all again, all right? Monsi Anya and Mebataya, Mebataya, Sike Amo.